It is Tecmo Tuesday. It is week 4 of the NFL season as the Indianapolis Colts, the 93 Colts. And we have the New York Giants today. Despite the fact that they're in the NFC, we've got them twice this year. It's a weird scheduling quirk with the ROM. So the Eagles beat the Packers. The Rams lose to Houston, I think that was. Cincinnati loses to Cleveland. San Francisco demolishes Phoenix. Washington loses to the Jets. Chicago loses to Seattle. The Bucks get beat by Atlanta. Minnesota beats the Broncos. The Chiefs beat the Chargers. The Bills continue their undefeated streak by demolishing Miami. So we've got to win once again to keep pace with them. I've already checked player conditions. Everybody, I'm gonna keep. Well, for one thing, somebody might come back from injury, but and nobody will. We've got a couple of injuries in the running back department. Anyway, one thing. The Giants, this is going to be a tough matchup. Even though they're not the Tecmo 91 Giants, who are the, coming off their Super Bowl championship in real life, so they were one of the top, 3 teams in Tecmo. Top 3 or 4 teams, arguably. They're in that top tier. Giants are still a good team here. They had a slide in between with the Ray Handley seasons. Those were some bad Giants teams. And then they came back to have, with Dan Reeves at the helm. Where is my guy? Alright, I seem to, oh shit. I seem to be fucking up. Alright, Dwayne Bickett gets the sack. I was all lost back there. I just didn't commit to where I wanted to go with it. I'm gonna mostly be calling runs. Alright, nice. 3rd and a fucking mile. Just gonna just get way the fuck back there. Oh, they're running it. Rodney Hampton. Shit. Oh my god. He picked up almost enough to get that first down. I had a slow ass safety. At least definitely by compared to I usually have Buchanan, I think, the cornerback toward the bottom. That's actually, that's a good punt, too. Look at this field position. I'm thinking we have them basically at the end zone, and, as long as everything works out. Oh, yeah, so anyway, yeah, Roosevelt Potts. No, it's Cash. It's not the running backs. It's not just Potts, but Kerry Cash is out, so we have our backup tight end, Arbuckle, who did fairly well in, filling in. Did just everything we needed out of him. We got a nice first down there by Johnson. Set the pace. And Johnson again. Johnson and Johnson. Don't get that vaccine. And there he is, Arbuckle. Let's give it to Culver this time. Look at him breaking tackles. And getting a first down. Oh, maybe. Yeah, he got it. Give it to him. He deserves it. That was quite the run. Alright, let's try to hit Langhorne deep here. I mean, it's not like we're having to throw deep, but let's go take a shot. They got him covered. No, they don't! Oh, but he dropped it. That's very uncharacteristic. Alright. Nice catch and stride to Hester. And that's a score. Nice. And they come in and take a cheap shot years later. Wow. Unbelievable. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. I mean, yeah, like the Giants are known for being cheap shot artists or something. The early 90s Giants. These are this era of the Giants. Even though this is like kind of the end of the era for them, But this 80s Giants, the Big Blue Wrecking Crew, as they were known to be called, these are the kind of teams that I miss. These, like, very physical, defensive-minded teams. I like fireworks, and I like offense as much as the next guy, but it's there's too much. There's not enough. Yeah, there's too much of that shit. Oh, shit! Fumble! End zone! They fucked up the flea flicker. We got a defensive touchdown. I don't think we have any of those yet. Skip McClendon. Did not expect to see his name on the in the box score today. Not at all. And that's a good reason not to have a flea flicker in Tecmo. But that shit doesn't happen much. Alright, good way to close out the quarter. Anyway, what I was saying before is that, you know, like, those teams don't really exist anymore. I mean, there are teams with good defenses. But, you know, not really that whole, you know, where the defense carries the team. You're not able to win with with the defense being the strength and or the not necessarily the strength of your team, but like the only exception would be the Broncos from like 6 years ago when Peyton Manning was last year, you know, because he wasn't what he used to be. And oh shit, almost gave that one up. It's a good thing I caught him from behind. That was one where the defense carried him, and it's not like I need it to be, you know, 13-7 games all the time or anything like that, but I like to see more balance. I'd like to see more... Fuck. Get him, get him. Ah, he's gone. Shit. Well, you know, they were going to bust through at some point. What's with these colors? This isn't... They did a weird... Like, I know that in Tecmo, the Giants have black helmets in the sprites, but this all blue thing just looks more out of place. Alright, let's try to get it back here. I gotta say that, you know, like this, we did not get first downs running the ball before. And look at that, breaking the tackle. And taking it to the end zone is Johnson. Somebody pointed it out to me a few weeks ago, the offensive line is definitely improved. We're getting, like running backs... One of the reasons why our running game was the way it was the first 2 seasons, a lot of it is because they were getting, you know, beat in the trenches. You know, it was like there wasn't room for the running backs to go, and they weren't great running backs to begin with. And that's kind of how it is in the NFL. You know, it basically is how it's like in the NFL. Unless you're like Derrick Henry, a complete stud. You know, it's like you're only as good as your O-line. Which is why the running backs have been devalued so much. Ah, I got blocked. I got fucking blocked. Alright, we gotta hold them to a field goal here. They're gonna... If it gets down to like 30 seconds, then the computer will see this as that they need to kick the field goal so they don't run out of time. Alright, they got him on the draw. Keep a hold of him. Ah, they're still good. They got one more play in them. Alright, they call the shotgun. Nope, they're doing the draw again. And a nice tackle in the backfield. Alright, they might not, And I called another shotgun. This time it's the pass, and oh shit, they threw it. And it's incomplete. Alright, so good job, defense. They're going to try a long-ass field goal. This is going to be a 62-yarder? 61-yarder. And it's wide. Alright, we have time. We have time here. Let's try to... Let's take a shot. The Langhorn. Yes! Go, 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 go! We got it! Alright. You know, you should have punted. You should have punted. And we're going to get the ball back to start the second half. Talk about double dipping. This is more like triple dipping. Potentially, if we score. What a half. What a half. There was that... The only fuck-up was that the Hampton run. But otherwise, yeah, superb job by both sides. And special teams. Can't forget about special teams. Excuse me. Alright, let's put this puppy away on this drive. We don't get many chances like this to, just completely, end the game early, especially against a good team like the Giants. But can't get complacent. There's never a good time to get complacent. Oh, they almost caught up to him. I waited. That took too long to develop, but it worked. I should have thrown it a little bit earlier, just because it would have avoided the risk. But it worked. I'll take it. Oh, that D lineman grabbed him. There was a lot of real estate in front of him. I think that would have been a touchdown if that defensive tackle didn't get a hold of him. All right, third down. Oh, so close. Oh man. All right. I'm gonna go for it. This is. I know that we'll change this from a 3-score game to a 4-score game with a field goal, but it's 1 yard, and if we miss it, we still pin him down there. So I'm going for it. And it worked. The only, if they would have called it, which I was afraid of because they do often defensively call the up-the-middle runs when you're in short yardage situations like that. So I was a little bit worried about that. There was the one bit of trepidation that I had in making that decision, but I'll take it. It worked. It was not a state of cockiness like, I'm not trying to run up the score or anything like that, but it was more situational than anything. Like, I looked at it like it was the risk was worth the reward to get those extra points. Yeah, I could have kicked the field goal and made it. It would have been a 4-score game. But if I would have taken him, pinned him at the 1, it's a 3-score game and you got to go 99 yards. So, providing that we don't give up a big play, you're essentially kind of doing the same thing by forcing them to take all day. Oh, not Christian McCaffrey, Ed McCaffrey, his father, goes down. I forget that he was on the Giants. He wasn't on the Giants for long. He ended up going to Denver, where he had a pretty good career there. Safety? Nope. Interception? No. Defense came to play today, and a short punt. Funny thing is, even though that's a short punt in Tecmo, that's probably, that wouldn't have been too bad in real life. It would have been, like, short-ish. But these punts, and, you can punt it basically all the way across the field in this game. Oh, shit! Well, yep, it couldn't be a perfect game, I guess. And if you're gonna fuck up today, this is the game to, if you're gonna fumble it, if something's gonna go wrong, this is the game to do it when you're up 35-7. Oh shit! I let him get around. All right, good D. Keep calling that flea flicker. I think it's because I'm like, I want to get another fumble. Like, I want to blow that play up in the backfield again. Oh, Sims is going to run it. No, he's not. Oh, he went across the other side of the field. I'm going to take a cheap shot after they cheap shot at me. Why not? Across the field. I thought he was past the line of scrimmage. That's why I started chasing him with the cornerback. But it didn't matter. It was the other side of the field. I guess if I would have stayed with my guy, maybe I would have gotten over in time, but I don't think so. Langhorn gets the onside recovery, and we're back to running out the clock here. I'm tempted to put backups in, but I mean, my backups are, in a lot of cases, my backups are my starters because everybody's getting hurt. Let some time tick here. I do not want injuries. Well, you know what? I am going to put in some backups. Let's put in Trudeau. Let's take Johnson out. Let's put in the backup receivers. The backup tight end's already in the game. Hopefully next week we get some help. We get our guys back. Considering we're down our starting running back, one of our starting running backs and our starting tight end. It's been pretty good. Even though, I mean, shit. You know, Johnson has been the workhorse of the backfield. Oh shit! All right. Yeah, it's all right. Let it tick. Almost got the first down after taking the sack. Well, I have a feeling that this game won't go quite this way when we have our rematch later on in the season. Because yeah, I mentioned earlier we're playing the Giants twice. Doesn't make any sense. But the scheduling, the 1993 schedule was weird. There was an 18-week season and a 16-game season, so there were 2 buys everybody had, and I don't think you could manipulate that in Tecmo unless you really knew what you had like quite the programming expertise, and you could manipulate the game. I know that there are ROMs that have updated, not only updated roster, but they updated. It's not like you're just replacing the 28 teams that are in here. They've got all 32. They've got a full-on updated schedule and a freaking pick. There we go. We had to get one eventually because our coverage guys are doing really well. But it was. There wasn't a way to completely replicate the schedule for 1993. So this is what it is. I think it might have been a mistake because I think that my guess is they tried to squeeze in all 4 NFC East teams and they accidentally put in a second Giants game instead of playing the Cowboys, who the Colts did play. So somehow we avoid playing Dallas. You can get Trudeau a touchdown pass. All right. Ronnie Culver. I did not expect this. I did not expect to obliterate a team of this quality, And that's the game. 49-14, Jesus. Well, the third quarter was our weakest quarter. We only got 7 points. But hey, look at this. Jeff George, 161 yards. 80% of his passes were completed. We had 150. We actually outrushed a team. 152 to 142. Anthony Johnson got like half of those yards, almost. And, you know, Toner came in and got a touchdown. You know, Culver did pretty good. It was a good game. Langhorne had his best game of the season, I think, with, you know, a touchdown and 113 yards. Actually, I think he had 2 touchdowns. Both of his catches were touchdowns. Yeah, because the Hail Mary. So, 49-14. No, he only got the 1 touchdown. The other catch was taken down at the 5. And either way, it was essentially set up a touchdown. Huge plays. This is just a huge team effort. 49-14, we take down the big bad Giants. So, see how the rest of it goes. The Lions beat up on the Raiders. The Saints beat the Steelers. And the Cowboys decimate the Patriots. So let's look at the standings and how they are right now. We're tied with the Bills at 4-0. It's gonna be a while. I think it's week 11 or week 12 when we play against them for the first time. So it's gonna be quite the race to that game. Oilers are ahead of the Steelers and Browns by a game in the Central. Chiefs have a 2-game lead over the Chargers and Seahawks for second place. Well, they're 2 games ahead in first. We knock off the Giants and prevent them from tying Dallas, so Dallas is up there at 4-0 by their lonesome. Cardinals are a surprising 3-1. Eagles, I'm not too surprised that they're only 2-2 because Cunningham's not on the roster. He was hurt this year, and they didn't have him on this in this game or in this ROM. Vikings 4-0. It seems like they're the team in this division. You know, like they've won the division the first 2 years, and doesn't look like the Brett Favre era is ready to take the division by the horns, or at least not yet. They might creep up there. They're only 2-2. It's not bad. And then speaking of 2-2, 3 teams in this division are 2-2 and tied for first in the Saints. And then the Saints, they're the one team that's not. 49ers, Rams, and Falcons. Let's take a look at the league leaders since we're at the quarter mark of the season. Jeff George is in 3rd place in the QB rating department. 4 touchdowns, no picks, 184.2 rating. It is impossible. 508 yards altogether. Not a huge yardage, but, you know, very, very efficient. Look at this. Johnson is 2nd in the league in scoring with 48 points. 8 touchdowns. Kimball Anders for the Chiefs is leading. That is a surprise. Look at this. You got Jerry Rice, Andre Reed, Chris Carter, Emmitt Smith, all these Hall of Famers. And then at the top of the list, though, you have Anthony Johnson and Kimball Anders. Not what you would be expecting in that department. I don't think we have any INT leaders, but... oh, wait, we got Belzer has 3. I know we had the one today, but I didn't realize that it was, you know, one guy doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the secondary. Punt returns. Oh, yeah, there he is up there. Dawkins, 12.6 per. He's tied with Henry Ellard for 4th place in that department. Very good. Kickoff returns. Yeah, it's Clarence Verdon up there with 16.5 yards per return. That's middle of the pack. For sacks. We don't have many sacks. We have we have somebody with that it's in the heavy crowd of 2 sacks, or we just we don't have anybody with more than 1. Yeah, sacks aren't our strength. We're mostly good in the linebacking crew. And then if we're on Stark, of course, 74 yards per punt. It's the only punt that he has. We only punted it once. How about that? He boots it 3/4 of the field. That's what I mean, how you can punt it so far. Rushing leaders. I don't think we're going to be threatening the rushing title. Anthony Johnson, though, 255, 11th place. That's pretty good. We're never anywhere near that. You know, we're never near, like, the top 10. It just doesn't happen. But it is kind of a committee-ish. No, it's he's far and away the leading rusher of the team. Which I know with injuries and shit doesn't help, but he's definitely been the guy. Receiving wise, you know, we're not putting up massive numbers, but we're kind of splitting up. Yeah, we have nobody in the top 30 or top 25, I should say. Of of receivers, which is funny because George does have he's in the top with in the top 5 of quarterback rating. So next week I think we have a bye, and we do. So it won't be till the week after when we play Pittsburgh. I'm gonna auto skip it and get right to it. I don't think I'm gonna do the highlight package like I used to for the halfway point of the season. I know it's fun. It's a fun little recap and everything like that, but it's also quite the production, and I don't think I want to do heavy editing videos for any of my weekday shows. Like, I think like it just gets in the way of things. So I'd rather have my weekday shows be like, play the game and get it thrown together instead of making a heavy production out of it. It starts bogging things up. So I'm not gonna do it this time. I'll just like go right into the next game. So I'm gonna skip the bye week. Let's see what happens in week 5. Bears lose to Minnesota. Phoenix gets beat by the Rams. The Jets lose to the Raiders. The Lions lose to Kansas City. Buccaneers lose to the Seahawks. San Francisco annihilates Cincinnati. Denver beats the Chargers. The Falcons lose to the Steelers. The Bills beat Houston. Miami beats Cleveland. Washington loses to the Giants. The Patriots lose to the Saints. So it's weird that we had the bye. Because normally, when in this day and age, because back then the divisions all had the bye at the same time, with the exception of the 5th place teams. The Colts are not a 5th place team in 92, so their 93 season wouldn't have been a 5th place schedule, hence why we're playing the entirety of the NFC East. But again, it's the 93 schedule and the weirdness of this ROM having to compensate for that. So let's look at the standings right now. Bills are up a half game over us. Well, they're up a full game. We're a game behind. Excuse me. But we win, and we are we're tied with them. But I don't, they'll have their bye too. We have an extra game in hand. The Oilers and Steelers are tied at 3-2. The Chiefs continue to reign supreme in the West over the Seahawks and Chargers mostly. Cowboys are half game up over the Giants, and then the Cardinals lost, so they're starting to maybe fall back down to earth a little bit. I mean, look at their point differential: 99 points for and 121 against. So they're winning close games and then getting beat pretty severely in their losses. Vikings are 3 games up in the Central. And then the 49ers and Rams are tied right now in the West. So that's it for this week. Like the next week, we're playing against, what was it, Pittsburgh? Yes, Pittsburgh. That will be a rematch of the AFC Championship from last year, so that should be something. Hopefully we get our injured guys back, and yeah, that'll be fun. So I'll see you next week.